Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Running Wild Podcast. I'm your co-host Rich, alongside me as always, my co-host Runz.
Yes, sir.
Alright, before we get started, I just want to remind you that we're brought to you in partnership with pwponderings.com, rohworld.com, and Last Word on ProWrestling.com. You can also catch us on the Wrestling to the Max network. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we have Battleground, sorry. They're all the same now, Backsplash, I don't care. We have that to go over. We have Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, and a little bit of news and notes. The unfortunate passing of Daryl, the cat, and much more in this episode. All right, so what did you think about Battleground?
I thought it was just kind of whatever. It was one of those pay-per-views that I had on in the background for a majority of it, and any WWE pay-per-view where the biggest thing that happens in said show is the Great Khali returning in the main event, don't sign me up.
Okay, if you put that down on paper before the show, just to list it that way, then I don't think it was that exciting in those terms, because of Khali's return is not super exciting. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I fucking popped when Khali came out.
I didn't, because
really,
I'm kicking myself a bit, because last week, like when we were talking about it, I kind of had that thought, like, oh well, how is he gonna win this? Maybe just the fucking Great Khalil will come back into his match, but. So I didn't say anything.
No, because you're not racist. Because you don't think just because.
No, but it made perfect sense for the Great. This is his match, and how is Jinder going to beat Randy? He's not just going to beat him clean. The Singh brothers have done everything, so it was kind of just logical.
I guess I don't know. I popped. I was super excited. Apparently, Natty was excited.
Why didn't he come out to his own music though? He came out to Jinder's music.
It doesn't make any sense. Also, if he's just doing a run-in, like, why isn't he wearing? Okay, I mean, I guess you don't have to wear a shirt, but
a run-in or a very slow walking.
I just there were so many things that were weird about the whole thing, but I'm not gonna lie. I said, "Oh shit, the Great Khali." Stat wife literally said, "Who gives a shit?" Who gives? She goes, and I was like, "But it's the Great Khali." And she goes, "No, seriously, who gives a shit about the Great Khali? Why does this fucking matter?" So then I told her, I was like, "Well, he kind of created the Punjabi prison match," and she's like, "I still don't give a shit. Like, I don't see why it fucking matters." And I was laughing because that's probably the reaction most people had.
99% of people.
I just had like a weird nostalgia pop, because by the end, Great Khali was so ridiculous that the more ridiculous the guy gets, I like them.
It was one of those things where, like, I'm with you in the fact that when the music hit, I was like, oh, okay, cool, like, here comes Khali. And then, he came out, and I was just kind of like, oh, all right, this is cool. But it wasn't, like, I don't want to see him on SmackDown. I don't really want to ever see him again.
Though. No. I'm only okay with this. If
the reported news was that he's going to be with him kind of from now on. But on Tuesday he wasn't, and so hopefully WWE got the message of like, hey, we don't want to see this guy. So please, that was fine. Now let's just get rid of him.
Oh no, see, like, I guess from my point of view, I just want to see dudes we haven't seen in forever come out, do something like that, and just bounce. Like, I don't want you back, Khali, because actually watching him in the main event picture is terrible. But, like, just remembering, oh, this is the Kiss Cam dude, or the ridiculous, or the fucking Brain Chop. Like, things like that are why I was okay with him coming out for that. But that's it. I'd never want to see him again.
No.
I mean, there are tons of dudes that if they just came in for a run-in just to help someone, like, I don't know, and just ran away. Like, IRS just came out, smacked someone with the briefcase, gave him the write-off, and then they're gone. Like, I'm fine with that. I don't want them around. No offense to Mike Rotunda, like, at all. I'm just saying. All right. So the other thing was, I mean, we were wrong about a whole lot of shit.
Well, that was the other part of Battleground that made it enjoyable for
Yeah,
me because
we were so
New
wrong.
Day I didn't really see winning. AJ I definitely didn't see winning the title back. So it was a cool night for some unexpected things. But like I don't care about Natty winning. Yeah, New Day wins, but okay, now what? AJ winning the U.S. title back is cool, but I'd rather see Kevin Owens with it,
Well, yeah.
or whatever. Kevin Owens winning the U.S. title back was cool, but I didn't see it lasting. So then AJ winning it back on SmackDown, I don't know. These pay-per-views are kind of just Raws and SmackDowns.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the match results were really surprising. I was really shocked by New Day. I was honestly shocked by Aiden English winning. That seemed a little odd.
It wasn't even on the show. That doesn't even count.
All right, but we still got it wrong.
We got Aiden English wrong.
Well, I picked Dillinger, didn't you?
We didn't pick that match.
No, we did. We talked about it,
No, we didn't.
like really briefly.
No, we did not ever speak of that match. I didn't know it was happening until
Q.
Aiden English was in the ring.
All right. Q. Runz's reaction to this match from last week's show. Now.
I'm really looking forward to Dillinger if he wins this match.
All right, I proved my point.
There's no way. I can't wait until you go back and you have to listen through that entire episode to find that we didn't speak of it.
It's going to be really weird with that awkward pause that I just had, but I want to make sure that I know that at about the 6-minute mark, that's where I'm going to include this, so I'm very excited.
I can't wait.
I really didn't... Natalia winning... when we talked about it last week, it kind of made sense that she might win, but we didn't think it would be her.
We don't want to see it. Like that's the whole thing.
Listen, I'm not paying any extra money to see Naomi versus Natalia at SummerSlam, so I'm fine with that. I guess I don't.
And now I'm in a weird spot because like, who do I want to win that match? It would be kind of cool to see Natty as the women's champion. Like she hasn't really ever been the champion.
I'm sure she's had the Divas title.
Maybe once. Never for any long period of time. And she's one of the so it's kind of weird, she kind of fell into that, like, she's a good hand, she doesn't really have any personality, that sort of thing, and now with this heel role, she's been showing a lot more character. So, I mean, good for her that she's getting this shot, and, we've always disliked Natalia, so being this person that, like, we should dislike kind of helps, because I'm disliking her because now everything she's saying on TV is to make me dislike her purposely,
No, yeah, you're right. No, it's definitely a reinvention of who she is, and it's obviously thank God, a long way from the farting gimmick and things like that.
Jeez,
What's
forgot
better
about that one?
Terrible. All right, what else on the card? So I was pleasantly surprised about Zayn beating Kanellis, but in terms of what you're gonna do with Kanellis, I don't know if you.
Nothing happened after the match, right?
No, Sammy
Okay.
just won.
Yeah. And I mean, Kanellis won on SmackDown, so I didn't really think there was any way he was going to win on the pay-per-view too. So that was a little like, whatever,
Okay.
But I thought he was going to at least attack Zayn afterwards and get his heat back,
Shockingly, John Cena beat Rusev in the flag match.
That was a good match, though. I enjoyed it. Like I've said before, I really like Rusev. So, I wasn't a fan of the match, but while it was going on, I really enjoyed it. And there were moments when I actually thought Rusev might somehow pull out the victory. So that was a good job by them. They did well to get me hooked a little bit, and the finish was cool. So they did a good job with that one.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. It wasn't anything. It wasn't bad. It wasn't anything that really got my attention, to be honest, though, because because of the fact that, quite simply, I knew Cena was going to win, and there wasn't much to that. I liked Rusev's work, but I just didn't think anything was going to
I
really
don't
come
know,
of it.
man. Like when Rusev was like climbing the pedestal with the flag, and Cena wasn't in sight, I was kind of like, wait a minute, what the hell?
Oh wait, at the end you mean
Yeah.
when Cena was behind the steps?
Yeah,
I
I didn't see him.
Okay, no, okay, you couldn't see them. You couldn't see him, right? And that was great, by the way. Kudos on that you couldn't see him. But Rusev, doesn't it bother you that you just put the man in the accolade? You left him lying on the floor, right? You don't. It doesn't bother you. You don't know where he is. That's fine.
What do you mean?
Okay, so Rusev put him in the accolade, right?
Correct.
Leaves him lying there on the floor. Goes to grab the flag from the middle of the aisle. Turns back, and now Cena's not where he left him.
Okay.
But then he just proceeds to climb with reckless
Yeah,
abandon.
sure, why not? Well, he must have left. He must have crawled away. Who knows?
All right. It's the only thing that bothers me, but at the same time, it's like watching a horror movie and you see people make mistakes and you're like, why did you do that? So,
Well, of course.
there has to be a conceit there. But
before we completely move on from some of the SmackDown talk, and I forget, the Sami Zayn Kevin Owens video, did you check that out? On why you can officially never hate Kevin Owens again?
So, I've had some phone problems, so I have not been able to check it out.
Okay. So, it's after Kevin Owens wins the Universal title. Sami Zayn is standing backstage, in Gorilla, and Kevin Owens walks through the curtain. First person he hugs, Sami Zayn, and says, "Thank you so much. This is ours. This is ours." So,
listen, I don't think that some video evidence of them hugging means that Owens is a good friend. It just
telling Sami Zayn that this Universal title is ours. We did this together. This belongs to you as much as it does to me.
You know that he's just trying to play Zayn there to maybe get Zayn to help him. This is what happened.
Look, this is a strong case of you just not being able to accept the facts.
He won it and needed somebody to be his lackey, and ended up getting Jericho, if you remember. However, right,
and him talking to Neville and Jimmy Jacobs and everyone in the same video. No, no problem. Try to spin this however you would like.
All right. Anyway, do you think there are a lot of reports that the finish was a botched finish, and the reason they did a title change again so quickly was because basically AJ was supposed to kick out? Yeah,
could be.
I mean, I don't know. Like, looking at the video, if you look at it again, it seems that AJ's basically, like, his shoulder is kind of up at the end. I've heard, and I mean, just talk about referees in general, right? The idea is you might know the finish, but sometimes they don't, and they just have to go in and call the match. They call the match so that you don't delegitimize the role of the referee or the role, how things are supposed to appear.
I mean, I don't know, because it would make a lot of sense why they changed the title so quickly. But would that have still been a triple threat on Tuesday, or Jericho coming back and stating his rematch, and it was against Owens? Like, I just feel like if it was, then it worked out better for them on SmackDown, because now you had AJ and Jericho, who both hate Owens, trying to get that title back that they lost to him. So I think it worked out, whether it was planned or not. That main event on SmackDown was phenomenal, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. So whatever. Now, if they had to call that on the fly because of a mess up, then even more kudos to them.
Imagine that's actually what happened, and they called Jericho up like, "Hey,"
I was thinking that.
"Yo, Chris, hi, Chris, it's Triple H. I need you to help me out." It's just, I hope that's actually what happened, because that's pretty freaking amazing if they're able to do something like that.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I mean, it's possible. Not out of the realm of possibility at all with WWE. But either way, whatever. I'm enjoying. Like I've said this to a couple people who are like, "Oh, I'm not happy AJ's the champ," or "I'm not happy Owens is the champ," whatever. Like, who cares? I don't care what they're feuding over. You know, the U.S. title, the Universal, the World title, whatever. It's Kevin Owens against AJ Styles, and I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it. So the fact that it's for a title makes it that much more interesting. But if it wasn't, great. Who cares? You know, I'm just enjoying this program. I'm enjoying these guys wrestling. You know, that's fine. When one of them is champion, it gives them a reason. It solidifies them. You know, it gives them something to talk about if they're Owens. It solidifies AJ. So whatever.
All right. Yeah, I guess I just wonder how this is going to play out now. I don't really want to. I guess I can just mention SmackDown. Well, you know what? Let's finish the pay-per-view. And then,
I mean, we could talk about SmackDown. It's a SmackDown pay-per-view.
Well, so now next week you're going to have Cena versus Nakamura.
Oh my God! Before you even continue, next week's SmackDown is a pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's I mean, this is what I don't get. And I know that timing and things like that affect everything, right? But how is it that Cena Nakamura is not going to be a pay-per-view match? Or, you know, it can be in the future, but the first time they meet is going to be on SmackDown when you just had a pay-per-view Sunday night. That was kind of lackluster. I mean, that Nakamura Corbin match was not. Those two guys, and I'm nothing about them as wrestlers themselves, but just together they don't seem to pair up well. I didn't really like that. I have not enjoyed their matches.
I disagree a little bit. I've enjoyed what they've done, but I agree with you that it's not necessarily a match made in heaven. But Cena Nakamura, at least they advertised it, right? They didn't just say, "Oh, tonight it's Cena Nakamura," right? They're going to hype it up for next week. But my whole thing is, how the hell does John Cena beat Shinsuke Nakamura? I don't know that that's a thing that they can let happen right now. Nakamura is on the up, and Cena is on his way out, as he says in every promo that he has, right? So why would you feed Nakamura to Cena and even further that hatred, that anger of the internet fans? I don't know. I don't know that they're that dumb. I don't know that Cena wins this. Not to mention, does Cena really need to win his 17th championship at SummerSlam? I don't think so.
So then instead you're going to have Shinsuke versus Jinder for the title?
Yeah, why not? Shinsuke is going to pack that house. What I mean?
But it's SummerSlam. Shinsuke versus Cena, as much as I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry. Cena versus Jinder. I don't know. It feels bigger, doesn't it?
No. To me, Shinsuke is the bigger star right now because I've never got to see him, or you know what I mean? Like, that dude was a megastar in Japan, and now he's here, so I wouldn't mind seeing Shinsuke in that match. And here's slight limb here. I'm going to say Shinsuke wins that, and then Corbin cashes in.
So does Corbin win the cash-in?
That's the next step of the equation that I'm not sure of yet.
I don't think he should. I'm terrible. Maybe I'm a terrible
person. I think it
person.
would be really, really cool if he cashed in and Shinsuke wins. That would just cement Shinsuke. But I don't know. Do they need to do that? I just want to see Shinsuke AJ. AJ was on Edge and Christian this week, and he said that he's made sure to tell Vince and everyone on SmackDown that he's not wrestling Shinsuke in a meaningless match. This is something that needs to mean something. And he said he created that spot in the Money in the Bank where, they stared at each other because he wanted to show them, yo, look at what this is going to do to the crowd. You have money here. Do not throw it away. So I'm very confident in the fact that they're going to do that at some point and do it the right way.
You know, it scares me because we could easily be going into just Super America Cena winning the title, man.
Either way, I think there's a Corbin cash-in, but I don't know, like, why does he need to win his 17th championship? I don't, like, he's not there all the time. So now you're going to have two part-timers, or we'll get to Raw in a second, but you could potentially have Brock and Cena as your champs, and neither one of them is there every week. I don't know about that.
It could, you know, the scary thing is that it just could happen. That's I guess what my concern is.
It always could.
We're right there where they can just decide, no, we're gonna go full on John, All American, and I
think that part is done though. Like, he came back on the 4th of July. He beat Rusev in a flag match. I don't know.
Yeah, and then he goes against the guy who's trashing America.
It does make sense to build it up to him and Jinder.
I love saying Jinder. Yeah, but that just to me makes kind of sense right now.
Yeah, it does. It would also be funny if, like, Jinder can't say, like, he has to change his entire promo if he's wrestling Shinsuke, because can't talk about America. He's got to talk about how bad Japan is.
Yeah, and that's why I don't know. Don't you think that Jinder beating Cena at SummerSlam makes him bigger?
Is that going to happen?
Well, okay.
It would be phenomenal if Jinder Mahal beat Randy Orton and John Cena in his first, 2 title feuds. That would be downright, like, you're made. But I'm not sure they're ready to do that. God, I hope so. But I don't know.
See, because I won't lie. I think that's the smart money. You build it
Imagine
as
SummerSlam weekend,
such a huge thing, and that's not going to be the main event, right? The main event's going to be the Brock match.
But if it's Cena, who knows?
No, if it's Cena, I think it's still not the main event. And
you never know, man.
Why
Cena going for number 17.
Flair runs out, as we're going to continue to just have random run-ins. Flair runs out, low blows Cena, woo, and just leaves. That's it. Doesn't come back. Nothing. That's all we see. Pictures backstage of him and Jinder shaking hands, and then that's it.
It'll be fine with me.
All right. The last thing I guess we could talk about, just who do you think is attacking?
Okay, so before we get to that, because I have an answer, let's just think about, at SummerSlam weekend, the 3MB could be running wild. Drew McIntyre can walk away as the NXT champ, and Jinder can continue to be the WWE champ. Just throwing that out there.
That is really...
3-man band.
I can't believe... I guess I can believe it. No. No?
You cannot believe it.
Okay, but is there... Hold on. Try to find...
If anyone, it would have been McIntyre, right? Like, if anyone from 3MB was going to do something, he would have been the chosen one. But if...
I'm the chosen one.
Right. For it to have been Jinder, and for McIntyre to be coming back, put in this position on NXT, it's fucking cool, man.
But at the same time, what I mean is has there ever been a group that was so marginalized and unimportant as 3-man band to then do this?
No, never. And that's why, we talked about it a little bit offline, but holy shit, man. Like, 3MB was a joke. You know what I mean? Like, now Heath Slater, tag team champion, over with the crowd by a long shot. Drew McIntyre, possible NXT champ, obviously over with the crowd. Jinder, freaking world heavyweight champion, Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, and it's crazy is that although the Universal title is positioned as the bigger belt, technically, right, because it's the Raw brand belt, this is the WWE title. You would imagine that in a couple of years,
the lineage of Bruno Sammartino and Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan. Yep.
Well, because you would
Jinder Mahal,
imagine
the 50th champion. The 50th champion, Jinder Mahal.
because right? I mean, I'm not sure if you feel like I'm wrong on this one, but at some point, I think the Universal title goes away. I'm not talking about now. I'm not talking about in a year. But I could see, they decide in 3 years that they don't like the brand extension, and they're going to unify the belts
No.
again. No?
I think you're wrong on that because the only reason why the brand extension stopped in the first place was because they just didn't have enough talent. That will never be a problem again. So I think the brand split is here to stay. And speaking of that, there's news this week that after SummerSlam, there's going to be another shakeup. So one after SummerSlam, one after WrestleMania. I think that's perfect because after 6 months, some guys have done what they're going to do on that show, or some guys lost their way, or some guys got left out. So to be able to swing somebody from show to show, I think is very smart.
Yeah. Is it too close, though?
No.
You don't think? Okay. Like, maybe it would be better to reset before Survivor? I don't know.
Yeah, but
You know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of actual months and everything?
Mania are their shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you build to Mania, you build to SummerSlam. Like, you're not really building to Survivor Series anymore, so whatever. And I love drafts and shakeups and whatever the hell you want to call them. So you're not gonna turn me off as a fan by giving me more of that.
True. By the way, we would be remiss. We know everybody up in WWE listens. Triple H, happy birthday as we're taping this.
Yeah.
Just
one more year on the game.
Kind of makes me want to play the game. By the way, how terrible is it to have? Maybe it's comparable as to when the Super Bowl happens or the World Series, but when you have WWE 2K17 and they start making announcements about 2K18, the game just becomes like a brick.
Right, I can't. I try to play it, but it's not possible anymore.
I think I just go on and download guys to be like, once I download these guys, it's gonna be so much better. And then nothing.
Every year, I run into the same problem of I've exhausted all of my options. I've exhausted all of my ideas. The game is not very creative. It does not really assist you. It doesn't allow you to play how you want. I hate rivalry mode and that every show it's this guy versus this guy. I don't know. That's not how wrestling works. Video game. Don't you know this? But whatever. So hopefully next year it'll be better. I downloaded Jinder the other day and I was like, oh, this is cool. Never played it again. So, it is what it is.
That's right, Jinder. Do I have him he's not in the game, right?
No. There's some good ones out there. That's
crazy. Is he very veiny?
Yes.
Yes.
So it is a good creation. But, there's not much I can do in that game anymore. So back to SmackDown. Who do I think is attacking Breezango? The lights flickering kind of made me feel that it is some type of supernatural. And the only people on that roster are Luke Harper and Eric Rowan.
That would be... I'm trying to think of terrible payoffs.
Nope, that would be it.
Hornswoggle being McMahon's son. Hornswoggle being the general manager.
Kennedy got hurt.
Fine.
Yeah, they never had anything for the GM. There's nothing I can do about that one.
Yeah, that one. It's similar to that. If it ends up being Harper and Rowan, it feels like a waste of Breezango.
See, but that's the whole thing. Just because we enjoy Breezango, that's what's holding this back. But they're a undercard tag team, so this story shouldn't mean anything. You know what I mean? But I don't know. They've done a really good job of making fans like them and care about them, and so that would just really kind of suck.
Imagine it was New Day. No, it can't be. Maybe it's the Young Bucks.
See, like it's so funny because like when New Day was about to come out or whatever it was, I was like, oh, maybe they're going to challenge. Like maybe the Young Bucks are just going to show up, or when the Revival was in the ring on Raw, I was just like, oh, who's going to come out and interrupt the Revival? Hey, maybe it'll be the Young Bucks. That's never a thing that's going to happen. Hopefully, when it does, though, we don't know about it.
I'll lose my mind.
Yeah, I need, they're so good about that kind of stuff that I don't think they would allow it to leak. But even like somebody taking a picture of the freaking WWE car outside the Hardys shit, like someone's going to do something like that,
That it's weird because I don't know if I would have seen that had I not been watching that show.
Right.
Did you watch that show before Mania?
What show?
The show they were on. The Hardys,
yes.
That barbecue thing?
Oh, okay. No. That wasn't on anything, was it?
I thought it was on Flow Slam.
No. That was like a special event thing.
Oh, so maybe I was just following I was probably just following it on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's my, I saw the lights and I thought Harper and Rowan, and then I read something that it could be going in that direction, and the air was sucked out of me. It was just kind of like, really?
Yeah, it feels like you just punched in the stomach.
Because like you're saying, it would be a letdown, and it wouldn't be a letdown in terms of like story purposes, but it will be a letdown in terms of like, I don't want to see Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. I like Luke Harper a lot by himself. Eric Rowan is not good, and it makes it's unenjoyable.
Surprised you're so against somebody with his
that I look so much alike.
I want to buy you just that jumpsuit and just have you walk around at a WWE event.
I have the sheep mask, so I mean.
I mean, if you went to NXT
as Eric
Rowan, I'm not sure if anybody would be like, wow. Like, I think.
Well, I'm not 7 feet tall, so that would probably.
But I think somebody.
Some people off. Some people would.
Someone would go. Someone.
If I just sat in the crowd the whole time, slowly turning my head at shit.
And if you weren't in WWE, if you weren't in New York, my apologies to other parts of the country, but some
of the less smart or less aware crowd.
Yes, less aware. Yes, I 1,000% feel somebody would ask you for your autograph, and you would just have to sign it.
On Ryback, on Conversations with the Big Guy this week, they were talking about this guy who One Warrior Nation, who was like a tiny midget-ish version of the Ultimate Warrior, and like people would actually ask him, like, "Are you the Ultimate Warrior?" Because they just didn't know. So it's definitely possible.
By the way, my son has now started saying things like, "I'll be right back." Right? But when he says, "I'll be right back," he shortens it to just right back. And he can't, he says it so quickly that actually what my wife even heard was him saying, "Right back. Right back." It just sounds like he's saying "right back." And it's so weird because he'll just be sitting there with you and then suddenly you hear him go "right back," and you're like, "What are you talking about?" And then you realize he's not talking. I realize he's not talking about "right back." But so that aside, let's look at Raw. Or do we have anything else to say about the actual SmackDown show? We talked about Jericho. No, that Tamina match was kind of awful. Yeah. All right, that's really basically it. All right, so moving on to Monday Night Raw. So we find out who is going to challenge Brock at SummerSlam, and we find out that it's actually going to be a 4-way. Which we talked about last week the possibility of it, and this is an easy way to get the title off Lesnar without having him lose. And then what? Does he just go away for a while?
Yeah, then he goes to fight John Bones Jones in UFC. I don't
Is
know.
that confirmed?
They both said they want to fight. It'll be interesting to see because Brock's contract comes up whatever in the spring, and that's what he did last time, right? Was pit UFC and WWE against each other and whatever. I don't think he can deny the payday. I don't think UFC would deny that payday of Bones Jones and Brock if they can figure out a weight class or a way to do it. So, as a UFC fan, I would love it. As a WWE fan, who cares? So, we'll see what they do with Brock. It'll be interesting because, yes, you can always have Brock around, but like after this, what is there else for him to do? If he wrestles Joe, if he wrestles Strowman, he's wrestled Roman. Who else is there for him to wrestle that is a legitimate, threat to him?
No, I mean, the only thing you could think is that he'd get a rematch at Survivor Series, but is the champ... That would also...
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, after this program is done, what's left for him?
I'll tell you...
He fought Cena, he fought Triple H.
The easy stat wife answer is, fuck Brock Lesnar, I'm glad he's gone. It's bullshit, as she says. It's bullshit. Like, he's just allowed to wrestle whenever he wants. Like, why would they pay him if he's not around? I'm kind of done with the Brock Lesnar not being around, the champion not being around. I don't want that.
See, I don't necessarily mind it when it's Brock because I don't want to see him every week. He doesn't need to be there killing people every week. Like, it's good. Oh, let's keep this dangerous guy away until we need him. It makes sense for him. Everyone else, not really. But that's how wrestling's always been. Like, on Raw, when it first started, there was never a champion. Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart, those guys were never on those shows.
Okay. No, you're 100% right on that. I don't know. And the other thing about Brock is I feel like he's been created as a guy who's almost unbeatable. I mean, they did a really good job with Joe. But how long can you have a guy who's just basically... I mean, I guess they had Hogan.
That's what I just said 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Like, after these guys, who else is there that can even put up a fight against him?
Elias Sampson.
Yeah, okay.
Speaking of Elias Sampson, he beat Finn Balor. They're really putting this guy over. Something vicious, no?
He beat Finn Balor on Raw?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. Cass faced Enzo, and he won. Then, basically, Big Show came out, so you would assume that there's going to be something... I don't know. I feel like...
Well, I'm guessing Cass Big Show is SummerSlam.
Do you think it's a tag match? Do you think that Cass finds a partner?
That would be a step backwards.
So, what does Enzo do for SummerSlam?
Be in Big Show's corner.
That's it?
I mean...
Okay.
What else is he going to do?
No, you're
not going to have him fight Cass again and get obliterated because that's what's going to happen. So, I mean, I think it kind of came to a climax on Monday. I think that was kind of it, and for now at least, and we'll move on to whatever Enzo will be involved with Big Show, and that'll be that.
Do you think it's going to be the revival? The Hardys came out. Do you think it's going to be a revival Hardys at SummerSlam?
It seems like that, but I mean, there's a long way to go before. Oh, actually, it's really not, right? It's a couple weeks, a month. But I don't know. There's not really much else for either of them to do, unless, it could be some type of the revival, the Hardys, Cesaro and Sheamus, and Gallows and Anderson, right? Because they were all around that stuff. So I wouldn't mind a four-way tag or whatever the case.
Are they gonna? Do you think SummerSlam's gonna turn out like a WrestleMania card in which they have multiple matches where they have to include everybody in them? on the show?
It's similar. I don't think it's as important, but it is definitely similar. And this week on Raw, I thought, like, this week on Raw in particular really hammered home to me, like, that there are no more heels and faces. Like, everyone is just whatever. Because, like, you had Joe and Braun, you had Gallows and Anderson and the Revival. There's definitely stuff I'm missing, but, like, all throughout the show, I was like, whoa, wait, why the hell are these guys coming out? Like, this doesn't make any sense, but it's kind of just like, yeah, everyone is in it for themselves at this point.
Yeah, I mean, even Emma was punished by having to face Nia Jax. Right, so...
Yeah. So it was really strange. Sasha and Bayley fighting each other, which is going to lead to now Sasha obviously is tight, right? That Bayley won, so hopefully we get that at some point. You know, if you're going to do a triple threat, fatal four-way, blah, 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 whatever with anyone, why not Alexa, Sasha, and Bayley? That would have been cool, but I don't know. I don't know where we go from there. Do we give Bayley the title just to have her face Sasha for it at SummerSlam?
I think that in the next couple weeks you have something where Sasha and Bayley are having a backstage discussion about their match, and maybe, you know, Sasha throws out something like, you know, you got lucky, and maybe she gives her a rematch, and then they decide that it's a three-way. And then
this whole card can't be
and then Sasha
triple threats and fatal four ways.
And then Sasha wins by screwing Bayley over.
Right. I mean, that would make sense, but who knows? Wasn't there another number one contenders match? Oh well, with AJ, when AJ threw Owens out of the ring to get the pin, it was kind of like, oh well, that's not a babyface-ish thing to do.
No, it's definitely what I would do, but it's definitely not a face thing to do.
Oh, okay. Just learning more about you every time.
Hey, if there was a pin there ready to be taken, why wouldn't you take it? Why would you let the other guy pin and then...
I just hope everyone remembers this the next time that Kevin Owens does such a thing.
What did you think about the main event? Because when it ended,
I didn't even care about the main event.
Okay, yeah, because I was watching it, right? And then I was kind of like doing something else a little bit. The match ends, I hear it. So I go to like turn back a minute or two later, and then the show, like the next show is on USA.
Yeah.
And I was like, what just happened here? I thought I was, watching Raw, and then I realized it was the main event and it was over, and I was like, oh, okay, right. That's a weird way to end it. I guess, I mean, I'm not excited about Ambrose and Seth Rollins being together.
But I don't see, like, this is what is weird to me here. Like, you're teasing the tension before they even get back together, right? So at some point, something has to happen there. But then you have Cesaro and Sheamus kind of scouting that match, and why would they be watching TV and shown watching the TV if it wasn't going to lead to something? Like, is it a possibility that Sheamus and Cesaro face Rollins and Ambrose at SummerSlam? I guess it is.
I didn't think about that.
Would I be happy if Rollins and Ambrose are the tag champs? I really can't tell you right now. It would be cool, but I don't know.
I mean, it gives them something to do.
Correct.
They don't particularly have...
Especially Ambrose.
Yeah, he needs something different. And maybe a tag run would be... they would need to...
Just so that Ambrose can turn on Rollins this time.
Oh, yeah. I think that saves... Because, look, the unhinged thing is so much better. I mean, it's been better, yes. But it's so much better when it's... Well...
A heel, yeah.
I mean, it's better than when he was walking around with a giant floppy fucking hat. Right? Because that shit was god-awful.
It's been more... Okay, so it's been more serious. It hasn't been better.
Okay. But the more serious is better. I think as a heel, or as a guy with more heel tendencies, it'll come off as more... I just think a crazy gimmick like that the guy needs to be like an asshole.
Completely agree. Yeah. And if he's the lunatic coming out and beating the hell out of people, that's so much better than the lunatic coming out and, like you said, doing dumb things with a cactus and shit like that.
That fucking cowboy hat was the worst. Oh, what did you think about, what is it now called? Smacking Talk?
Yeah, that was great.
So, and the most exciting thing about Smacking Talk, so if you guys don't know, Talking Smack was canceled. So, Renee Young and Daniel Bryan put out on Twitter a video of their new rogue show, Smacking Talk, which is, you know, it got really the most exciting return of the weekend. I don't think it wasn't Khali, it wasn't Jericho, it was Tout. Do you remember that Tout was even a thing? Amazing.
I actually thought it was out of business.
I was so excited. Yeah, because it seemed like WWE abandoned Tout, and now they're like, no, Tout, we need you. And Tout's like, okay.
Well, they have a stock in it, so, I mean, I guess it's flexible for them.
Maybe that's why they canceled in the first place, because they wanted to use Tout.
Daniel Bryan just loves Tout. Like, that's...
Does he really use it a lot? I don't follow his Twitter.
No, he doesn't use it, but he loves it because it's so stupid. And WWE, bought into this partnership with Tout and Tout. And like that's where his enjoyment of it comes in. It's ironic. It's like, oh, this thing is so stupid. We're gonna push Tout. Okay, fine. So that's where his love of it comes in, and it's fantastic.
I do like the idea that it's a rogue show, but WWE's Twitter...
They acknowledged it because it got 1,500 views or whatever.
So wait, do you think is there any part of you that believes that it was done without WWE's knowledge?
Okay. The knowledge part, no. But do I believe that they legitimately canceled Talking Smack, and then they were just like, yo, this show is great, fuck this? I 1,000% agree with that. I believe 100% that this is Daniel Bryan and Renee Young on their own, just kind of trying to make WWE realize that Talking Smack was awesome and they should not have canceled that.
Hey, Vince, I know we just canceled Talking Smack, but just want to tell you, Brian and Renee, they did a video on Tout, as a rogue show. What the fuck is Tout? Like,
No, incorrect. He would be like, Tout? Oh, that's amazing. Great. Let them keep doing it. I love Tout.
Maybe Linda said, Tout's a really small business, so she's trying to help it out.
They own a part of Tout. Do you forget this? Like, that's why they were pushing it so hard, because they own part of it.
No, WWE just likes mutual partnerships for no good reason.
Yeah, Yeah, well, this is a mutual partnership for no good reason, but they're trying to make it useful now, I guess.
All right, do you think Jason Jordan... Do you think this is just Jordan is actually Angle's son?
What?
What I mean is, doesn't it seem... Okay, how often is a reveal in WWE something so lovey-dovey?
What do you mean?
Okay.
This is my son, I'm so proud of him, blah, blah. Like, you think Jason Jordan is not really his son, and it'll be revealed like this is a whole scam?
Yes, because I just feel like whenever you get... Like, they were really worried, Angle was really worried backstage about what was going to happen if this news came out. I don't know. I might be completely off base, but there's just a little part of me that believes, hey, there's got to be a negative payoff.
No, I don't necessarily think that. I think this was their way of getting Jordan a nice singles push, and that was just something that worked out. I don't know that... Would I be interested if this wasn't real, like I would be like disappointed. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I get what you're saying, but it just feels like something needs to come of this, and it's just.
Yeah, and he's his son, and now he's going to get a nice push. You know, at some point down the line, you can always use like, oh, well, you weren't there for me, so now you want to be there for me? Like, blah, blah, blah. You could always do something like that, you know? But I don't think that's the point of this storyline. I don't think that's the big payoff of this. I just think it's him being Angle's son, and now we're going to move forward with that.
All right, fair.
I liked his, self grand amplitude finisher that he used on Raw, but my whole thing is, and I know it's a legitimate question, is like, you can't do that to everyone. So what happens when you face the Big Show or Braun Strowman or someone like that?
It's a good point.
I mean, he's strong enough where, he should be able to pick someone up in a belly to back or whatever the hell, back suplex. But, to toss them up and drop them on their neck, that may be a little tough to throw the Big Show in the air. But he could always work around that.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're talking to the guy who, when I create my...
I know. That's why it's such a big deal.
I go to non-lifting moves, and that's basically my entire moveset, because I make myself 5'6", and I feel like I need to be believable. I can only.
I think about it. Not that I really ever care, but I think about it too when I'm editing someone's finish or something like that. Like, well, this guy cannot do this to Braun Strowman, so why would that be his move? It's a little inconceivable.
Like, anybody can catch the dick kick. Anybody. That could just come out of nowhere.
I'm sorry, what move is that? I'm not familiar.
It's called the dick kick.
Did anyone ever do that move?
Mickey James made... No, Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus, I think.
Oh, okay.
And Mickey James.
And Trish Stratus. Oh, okay.
Yes. It's just a roundhouse kick to the head.
Any other finishers that, superstars have done? Maybe like someone like Kelly or anything like that?
The K2 may be my other move. Yes.
Oh, okay. So you have a moveset consisting of Divas finishers.
They're women's wrestlers?
Well, at this point in time, they're women's wrestlers. But when they actually wrestled, were they fighting for a butterfly belt or...
So maybe I'll change my move to natural selection this year.
Okay. Still a woman's move, but okay.
And the bank statement, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
There you go.
About...
belly to belly, you could do a lot of things.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy. I can't do the belly to belly.
Twisted Bliss, you could do.
Oh, I could do Twisted Bliss. I can actually most likely pull that maneuver off.
Let's not go down that road.
If I have my knee brace on. If I have my knee brace off, I'll probably fall
off a diving board or something. I basically, at summer camp, they go to the pool and they have, trainers and stuff like that, swim instructors. And this girl was like jumping, not in my class. One of the trainers, swim instructors, whatever the hell, was jumping off the diving board. And, she straight up did the red arrow. And I was
what?
Like, what the hell? Like, she, not actually, but like, she spun like 4 times in the air, did a flip. I was like, what the hell is this? That's a wrestling move.
I thought you were gonna end this by saying, "Oh, go ahead."
No, it just made me want to start swimming so I can go off the diving board and do all sorts of frog splashes and that sort of thing.
I was hoping you were gonna say that when she went to go do the red arrow again, you just diamond cutted her.
That would. I meed if I RKO'd her out of nowhere into the pool, oof.
I don't know. I pulled off being able to have my son reverse my powerbomb attempt into a Hurricane Rana last night. So it was very difficult to make sure that you're not breaking the other person, and you have to make it look believable. But it worked out pretty well, and I actually gave him a 3 count. He earned it. That's one of the few times he's pinned me. So, what do you think? So G1, right?
Yeah, so I mean, it's really freaking cool that like basically every night of the week there is a G1 show. They stopped broadcasting them in English. The last couple ones haven't been, so it's been a little like I would have appreciated like I think it was like Tonga and Omega, or there was a couple matches where I was like, man, the English commentary here would really help sell me on this match, but. So that was a little like when Tonga fought Omega, he took the microphone like, "Oh, you want to be the elite and you want to be this? That's not Bullet Club. You got to be with us. You got to represent the Bullet Club." So it would have been really nice to hear Kevin Kelly and Cyrus sell the that whole Bullet Club thing that was going on. But other than that, it's still enjoyable. I basically skip the first half of the show when it's all the guys who are not in the G1, and I watch the G1 matches that interest me, and they're been phenomenal.
I haven't when they don't have the English commentary, I get a little turned off to it. But I will say that, man, that the other night where Fale ripped apart Tamagotchi's, stuffed cat Daryl, that social media was going insane. Like everywhere I looked, people are just super talking about Daryl, and I was just like, this is incredible.
It would be. It's so fitting that like the only thing that you have seen from 13 G1 shows is a giant man ripping apart a stuffed cat. It just makes so much sense.
I know, but I saw the Saber match you told me to watch. I'm not.
Oh, you actually watched that?
Yeah.
2 weeks after I told you to? Because last time I checked, you hadn't watched it.
No, I actually watched it. It was really good.
Oh. Who did you wrestle?
It was. Wait, hold on.
Okay.
No.
What I
watched it. I've been watching so much CMLL. Hold on. It wasn't Naito. Frick. Was it Tanahashi? It was Tanahashi.
Yes, Tanahashi.
Yeah. And then he was like...
So, I mean, on that note of Zack Sabre Jr., there was a lot of people who questioned his placement in the G1 and questioned, this guy's not a heavyweight. Why is he in this? And New Japan must really freaking like him because they've done a great job of putting him over. Like, he beat Tanahashi, made Tanahashi quit. He has 3 or 4 wins already in the G1. This past week he beat Fale, which was a really fun match because Fale is humongous and Sabre was climbing all over him, trying to grab any hold he could. Finally, I believe he got the roll up, like just enough for the 3 count, and it was just a well told story in the ring. And all these G1 matches, they're meaningful. So it's really cool to watch. Basically, like I said, every night of the week, a couple matches that, like, hey, this could determine who's coming out ahead in this whole thing, and that's a lot of fun.
How much longer does it go?
I think August 27th is the last, or August 20th, something like that.
I feel like it's a little. Am I going to be offensive to some people here when I say I think it's just too long?
Yeah, because I disagree with that because everyone is fighting everyone. Like it's you have however many guys in each block, and each night, all 8 or 10 of those people are wrestling each other. So you're getting a well fought, earned victory by winning this whole thing. And like I said, every match is meaningful. So like when I normally wouldn't care about a Fale versus Zack Sabre match, this one I really enjoyed and really cared about because it could go a long way in either of these guys winning.
Okay. It's just a lot for me to try to even keep up with. It's just a lot. It is a lot. A whole. It's
definitely a lot when you choose CMLL over it.
Well, 100%. That's very exciting. By the way, are you in front of a computer right now, or near one? Could you just Google NY space Jets owner? While he's doing that, for some reason, right now on Thursday, as of 3 o'clock, when you Google that, Tom Brady comes up.
Is that why you told me to do that?
Yeah, did you see it?
Yeah, New York Jets owner Tom Brady.
What the fuck?
Because he owns the Jets.
I am so freaking annoyed right now.
It's pretty amazing.
That is one of the most offensive things that I can ever... This is why you can't trust the internet. This is why I tell my students, you gotta look everything up, 5 sources. Imagine somebody's writing a report right now and they're like, oh, and Tom Brady, the owner of the New York Jets...
They don't know football.
who plays for another team. And if you were, God forbid, this is like translated page, right? I'm not sure if, like, when you say saying someone owns another team because like they beat them all the time is slang, right? So I don't believe in Spanish you would say that same thing, right? That's not the same. You would use a different phrase. So imagine if you're literally translating it, you just read that Tom Brady, the quarterback for another fucking team, is the owner of the Jets. Like, imagine doing that? Just like buying another team, like while you're on that team, like another team in the division.
And your like biggest rival, yeah, it's the best.
Like,
it's fantastic.
Well, like, what if Jacob deGrom just bought the Phillies, or no, the Nationals? No, we're just gonna buy them. Terrible.
Yeah, or like. Just, a more fitting example would be like, what if Chipper Jones bought the Mets, right? Like, that would be...
Well, I mean, he did name his fucking kid Shea. I will say, as a reminder, the one nice thing to see here is that, one of Brady's kids' name is John Edward Thomas Moynihan. So, Jet Moynihan.
Because he owns the Jets.
No, I'm not. No, I don't think it's funny anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Right. See, like, why would you think Chipper Jones's kid being named Shea is funny? That's not funny. That's downright like disrespectful. He named his son after a stadium that he loved playing in. It's just.
We better start to wrap this up before I got angry.
Well, before we do such things, as anyone who actually listens to the show, all 2 of you know, I don't pay attention to PWG news, and so. This month I got to watch Man on a Silver Mountain. Great, as always, but in particular the Keith Lee versus Lio Rush match was one of the most like fun matches I've seen in a while. It just the downright difference in size was so substantial that it just made for awesome visuals, and they told the exact story that they needed to tell with, Keith Lee literally babying Lio Rush to the point where Lio had to keep telling him, like, I'm not a child, put me down, don't manhandle me that way. Like, it was really, really fun, and they did a great job with it. The power bomb that, like, so Rush hit the frog splash, and Lee, like, threw him 4 feet in the air, like Yokozuna Macho Man style. Mm-hmm. And, so then afterwards, like, Lee hit a move and Rush kicked out at 1 and, like, hulked up and everything. Like, so Rush hulks up, like, he's pumped up all over the place, and then he just collapses. Like, Lee goes to pin him again, and he kicks out at 1. He hypes himself up again, and then that's when Lee hit that absolutely absurd powerbomb that killed Lio Rush and ended the match. But, afterwards, after the main event, Chucky T came out and ran off Zack Sabre Jr., setting up title match for them at the next show, which probably happened 2 months ago. So, pretty excited to see that, and I can't wait to enjoy that moment.
I can't wait till you get to watch more stuff so we can talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, because, you pretty much ruined that moment for me when you mentioned something happening at PWG, or like, stay away from the internet. And obviously, something crazy went down. So, whatever. But it'll be fun to watch it.
But stay away is just
that
telling
means
you
something crazy happened.
Okay, so it could be anything.
No, it's not possible.
I mean, Adam Cole died.
Yes, that was fantastic.
All right. Ring of Honor is running their tapings this weekend, so we'll have a little bit more to talk about Ring of Honor going into after the tapings come out this weekend. So they've really just kind of had some shows. The last show was still taped from after Best in the World. Not a lot's going on except for the fact that the Young Bucks openly said that there aren't that many challengers in the tag team division, so they're going for the 6-man titles with Paige. They're going to take on Castle and the boys. So it's just a little, I don't know.
Terrible.
I don't want them to say that out loud. Cody's going to face Daniels in a best 2 out of 3 falls match for the title in a rematch. And that's going to happen in 2 weeks because this week is actually going to be the Women of Honor special. So the bunch of matches I think were taped Best in the World. So we'll see Klein's back on this one and Perazo's there. So I'm looking forward to some of the matches there. I think it'll be pretty good. And they do this every summer generally. So last year though, they also had like a longer special release for VOD, but maybe I don't know if it's not doing as well. So
the Women of Honor.
What?
What special release did they have?
Oh, Women of Honor.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so this is just a TV episode.
Right.
Trying to think. But Kushida versus White was pretty good. You should go check it out if you can. I really enjoyed that. I've been liking White's work a little bit more. I don't know, he's been growing on me, and Kushida's just... I kind of have to take back what I said about not enjoying Kushida as the television champion, because, man, he's good, and just the psychology of the match, the way he's working on the arm and focusing on limb damage, I don't know. He's really starting to become somebody that I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, all it takes is for you to see someone in Ring of Honor, and then they're like, oh, okay, that guy is legit. But yeah, Kushida is awesome. He's been awesome for a while in New Japan, and to see him have a legitimate TV title run and do some nice things there is cool to see. And it opens up a lot more doors for him and matches for him to have with guys. So that's also, a really cool point. Someone that in this G1 special has definitely made me a bigger fan and sold me more and made me more excited to see the match, right? Sonata. He's been awesome in this G1. He had a match with Okada the other day that was fantastic, and he looked legitimate, and it made me really want to see who is he fighting? Cody or Lethal, right? Didn't you say like Sonata had a big match coming up
against
versus someone?
Cody.
Yeah, okay.
Cody at the next in August at the War of the Worlds UK tour.
Yeah, okay. So it'll be nice to see that.
Yeah, no, he's really good. It's just my whole problem with it is just storyline. Why does he get a title shot? He's not even getting title shots in New Japan. That's what bothers me, I guess. Right? He's not in the upper. He's not one of the top 6 guys in New Japan right now.
I don't even know if he's one of the top 15, 20 guys in New Japan.
Yeah, I was trying to be nice and also cover up for the fact that I'm not completely well versed in New Japan.
Correct.
But yeah, I don't. That's the one thing I don't understand. Hopefully, we'll see something that maybe something's going to happen. I don't know. Maybe we're going to get something that makes it a little bit more important, or maybe not. And maybe it's just one of those international dream matches that they're going to kind of run with. We'll see.
I'm gonna bank on the second one there. We probably don't get any real storyline driven match here. It's kind of just one of those, like you said, international dream matches, so to speak.
I just want also, before we go off the air, if you guys get a chance, go to Vince McMahon's Twitter. He posted for Triple H's birthday. It says he's champion in the ring, the office, and as a father. Happy birthday to my son-in-law, Triple H. The best part is the picture he posed is a picture of him Triple H and Stephanie. Clearly a photo shoot because it's like a white background and the lighting is perfect and everything. And Vince, like, I would say 20% of the picture is Vince's gigantic arm, like, flexing. He's in a tank top, and he's just 20% of the picture is his arm. I just love. It's like, let me post. This is a good shot of me.
Oh, my arms look great in this one.
Wait, look. I just picture his phone just being pictures of him flexing with other people in the picture.
Sounds about right.
It's just so amazing. And this is definitely not, I'm not even sure if this is recent, because this seems like it's one of those shots from when he was still in a little bit better shape, but he's still a beast. More power to him. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you got anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, so thank you guys for joining us. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter over Running Wild LWOS. You can follow us on Facebook at Running Wild on Wrestling. You can send us an email with trivia, any suggestions for our 100th episode, which is just coming up really soon. This is actually, I believe, episode number 97. So, we're right there. We're almost there. Just a couple weeks away. Any of your suggestions would be very welcome. So send those over to runningwildpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, anywhere you find your podcasts. Make sure to rate, subscribe, and review. Those things really help us out. And it's the easiest way to make sure that you don't miss any of our episodes. You can follow me and my writing on Ring of Honor over at pwponderings.com and rohworld.com, as well as lastwordonprowrestling.com. You can follow me on Twitter, Rich_Laconi, where lately I've been tweeting about old SummerSlams. So, by the way, let me ask you a question. Somebody said to me that they thought that SummerSlam 91 is one of the worst. Do you agree?
What is SummerSlam 91?
That's from nuptials to napalm.
Oh, yeah, that one's terrible.
Okay, we're just going to have to end the show. I don't even know what to say. It's one of my favorite ones.
Well, yes, it's one of your favorite because you love Macho Man and the wedding and all that shit, right? Isn't that one?
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, that's why you enjoy it so much, but the actual card of it is not very nice.
At the beginning, Vince, he actually says, so he's describing the wedding, right? And then next he goes to the Triangle of Terror versus Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. And I always thought the line was from newlyweds to napalm, but it's from nuptials to napalm. And I was very, but 20
learn something new.
20-something years longer, I've always thought it was, from newlyweds to napalm. And then I'm like, wow, no, it's nuptials. I've literally misremembered that for over 20 years.
It's funny when that happens because, like, in your head, it 100% is that. Like, you can hear Vince saying it, like, you can picture it, but, yeah, then you actually hear it, it's like, oh, shit, damn.
All right. Well, with all that out of the way, just to remind you guys that you've been listening to the podcast that is just too sweet.